Hi, I'm Steve, this is Abandoned, and that is a building, a furniture building in fact. It's called Origi Bianchi's and it's in Macclesfield, and it's been standing out in the town for over 100 years with its iconic design. It's become somewhat of a landmark for the town and is listed as a building of special, historic and architectural interest. Anyway, that's not why you're here, that's not why we're here. We're here for what I'm walking on when I'm taking this footage, a road. Lots of roads in Macclesfield got moved in the 60s for the Silk Road bypass, but no one asks, what happened to Gas Road? And is it still there? It's a dark world under the bypass. Underneath a ceiling of concrete. You can still get a sense of the old town here with its cobbled streets and old-fashioned lamps. However, above you, always making a roaring noise, is the Silk Road bypass. Easily visible on this map, the bypass completely bisects the town in half, going from south to north or north to south depending on your direction of travel, and most of it now runs along the old Macclesfield to Marple line. Anyway, it's that part of the video where I start loading up some old maps, so let's have a look at those, shall we? As always, we start with the tithe map. I absolutely love the tithe maps. It's one of my favourite resources to go to because it shows the town before the railway was built and before many railways were built in the area. Considering these maps from 1830 and 1840, it's not surprising. Anyway, we're slowly panning up Gas Road now. It's right there on your screen, you can see it's that Y-shaped piece of road. And if you fade through about 50 years of time, this is the 1890s, you can see that it is still there, leading south. Also, lots and lots of railways at this point. There is just so many railways, but sadly that area is now Tesco. The name Gas Road is visible in this 1900s map, and this is the only place I can actually see it labelled as Gas Road. You don't need to be a wizard to know that this would have run past the old gasworks in town. Which is needless to say, the building isn't there anymore. Actually, it's now home to the bin trucks. It's where they live. This photograph, dominated by red cars, actually shows what's left of Gas Road leading up to the bridge where I shot the depressing part of the video. You know, this bit, because this isn't actually road now, this is pedestrianised area. I mean, it's not the nicest place to be a pedestrian in, but at least it's pedestrianised. So, you can still follow the line of Gas Road. In fact, what I'm going to do is, while I've got this footage playing, I'm going to have a little map on the right-hand side that shows you where I am in relation to the old Gas Road, and we're going to see if we can find where it's gone from here. In fact, if you walk all the way through this little area, you get to a sign that points you towards the Middlewood Way. And it's the abandoned railway running between Macclesfield and Marple. Possibly for a future video, I don't know, depends if I get the time. Anyway, if I pan my camera left, what's this? If that's not the Middlewood Way, then what is it? Well, it looks to me like it's an abandoned road in the exact right place for Gas Road. Anyway, obviously, being me, I went for a walk, so let's have a look at what I found. Right, so I'm currently walking down what's left of, I think, Gas Road, or is it Commercial Road? I'll have to check. On the right-hand side, that's where the gas works was anyway, and the left, that is the horrendous noise of the bypass. I'm kind of not wanting to go too far down here because I'm not sure what's at the end of this, and I'm not sure who owns this land. It's not a signposted footpath or anything, it's just sort of there. It's just an abandoned area of nothing, following the line of the old road. I've heard someone say this is Commercial Road. I spoke to an old man in the forest. I mean, that sounds really mystical, but he said it was Commercial Road, but I've looked at the maps and I think this might be Gas Road. It's really overgrown. I can't see any sign of any sets or any tarmac, if it ever had tarmac. I think it did. If I just go to... Can I get to the end of it? Where does it come out? I think I can just see... Is that something? Is that like a tent or something at the end? Hang on, let me just go around this tree and have a look. If there's people at the end of this camping out, I don't want to get involved. This area isn't the best, gotta be honest. Yeah, there looks like there's tents and whatnot. You know, I'm just gonna head out. I'm in the middle of editing this video and my cat is all over me. He says hi. So what did I walk down that day? What did I take these pictures of? Was this truly the old road? The old gas road as labelled on maps? Or is it just a random gap in between where bin trucks live and the Silk Road? So we're going to have a quick look at this. Now how this is going to work is a section that I hope to include in future videos, which is like a map session. Now I tried this with Wood Lane and it worked, so we're going to try it again here. Now this isn't going to be scripted, this is going to be quite similar to the Twitter threads I make where I just go on a bit of a map adventure, and we're going to do it together. We're going to do it live, unscripted and all that sort of stuff, and I'm going to call this section Let's Map, like a Let's Play. It's a really bad name, but it's the only one I can think of. Anyway, let's do it. Right, so the maps are loading in. For some reason, whenever I go to this site, I've favorited the page, and it's somewhat, for some reason, favorited it over this junction near Buxton. Every single time, it always loads up here. Haha, the pros of having a laptop, I physically moved closer to the router. Anyway, so this is Commercial Road. You got Eric Bianchi's here. This is where I took some of my footage, and the bypass now runs parallel to the railway, and up here. So if I just change the transparency, we can just see that here. So there we go. So we've got Riggy's here. There's the bypass. Oh, they've deleted the town. There we are. Got the bypass, took the video roughly around here. Walked down here. More footage down here. And here you have Gas Road. So this line of trees is where I walked up. Around here was where you had the happy campers. This is Bin Truck World. So if I transfer it back to this map, you can see that it does actually follow the line of Gas Road. Not perfectly, but it does follow that. So I was right, I was actually walking up Gas Road at the time. You can see a little bit, there's a side road, I want to say side road, a footpath rather, that runs up the side of the Silk Road that allows you to cross over here. I wouldn't advise crossing over there, it's a 40-mile-an-hour dual carriageway, but there we go. So what I'm going to be looking at here is I'm going to go back to a Tithe map. It may as well, just so we can see Gas Road through the eras. So if I go to the home screen, you can go down to County Maps, find Cheshire, which is the county Macclesfield's in, and oh, these aren't the Tithe maps, these are even older ones. Hang on, that's a different section. So if I want the Tithe maps, you just have Cheshire Tithe maps. So you just end up here. It's very similar to the National Library of Scotland. You get twin-sided maps that you can just fade in between. Macclesfield's just up here, so we're zooming on where Gas Road would be. So as if I just pan this across, you can actually see here that this is still labelled as Gas Road on the Modern Ordnance Survey map. So it runs underneath the railway. So here you have the River Bollin coming out of its culvert. You have the old stairs here, the old town. There's another route up through town this way. You can actually go down this way. This is a path that no one in their right mind takes because it puts you out at the roundabout, and you have to cross over the busiest roundabout in town. It's just hideous. And you can see actually marked here, you got Gas Road coming up, and it turns off and it just stops. So this is now just a footpath that follows the route of the Middlewood Way. The Bollin's moved, it looks like, but Gas Road then runs up here, and this is a Bin Truck World. So that's the Tithe map showing Gas Road. Now as I was up here, I might as well show you this. This is the Andrew Bryant map. This is my favourite map so far. This is the 1831, but surveyed in 1827 and 1829. Map of Cheshire. This is long before railways, and any railways you do find on here are just amazing things to research because you can't do it. They have no names, but you can try and find as much about them as you can. I've got a lot of videos based on railways, very small, tiny little railways that are spotted on this map. But we're going to see if we can find Gas Road on here. So let's have a look. I'm going to zoom in on this map. So we've got the church here. We've got the Bollin. Or is that the canal? That's the canal, isn't it, down there? So we're coming through the town. I believe that could be it, represented in 1831. Obviously, this map is a different scale entirely than the Tithe maps. But I think if you got the church here, and you got the road to the left of the church running south, goes to a big market area, and you got following the river north. So if I go back to this map, you got the church, road, following the river north. And here's the river actually. So this is it here. There we are. That's that Y shape. There. Boom. Boom. So I've actually managed to track the road back now to 1831. I don't think any of the earlier maps will have it. Let's try the 1831, which is recorded a little bit earlier. This is more representative, I think, less accurate. But you're at least now just seeing where I get my resources from. Spend a lot of time looking at these maps, so we'll just zoom in onto Macclesfield. Let it just come into focus. There we go again. So we've got the church, got the road, following the river. So this is that again. So we've managed to track it back even further now. So we've found the history of Gas Road going back as far as we can map-wise. back to 1827, so it was obviously in existence then. I doubt it would be called Gas Road back then. Might as well, as I'm here, change these maps. We'll go through the eras, so we're going to go to 1875. As you can see, that this map isn't a great quality, but you can quite clearly see that says Hybel Road. You can quite clearly see the line of Gas Road here. 1898. There you go, you can still see it. 1910. Labelled Gas Road, if you want to read that. We'll go to some aerial photography now, so we're going to 1971. This is before the bypass. You'll still see Gas Road is present here. 1999. And there's the bypass, and Gas Road's been obliterated. In fact, you can still see at that point it was still a footpath. So that was still a footpath. They obviously hadn't built the ramp at that point. People were still using that as a cut through to get to Big Tesco. Yes, there's the modern gasworks. So I would say modern, that's also gone. We'll scoot through, might as well go through them all. So you've got 2010 here, you can see Gas Road just ends. Then you've got 2015, most recent one, Bin Truck World, more bin trucks, this is the old gasworks, so go back to 1970s. You see that's a big gassy building. You can still see that the bridge over the Bollin here for the Marple line still there. That's gone. We'll go to Now Times, there we are. So, I've had a little look at maps. We've tracked the history of Gas Road back in time, and we've basically found out that I did walk along the right road. It's still called Gas Road, it's still there. Functioning footpath? No. Is the road surface still under there? Probably. It's been there for nearly 200 years, probably over 200 years. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this little section at the end where we went and played with maps. It's what I do in my spare time. Please share with people, and please subscribe as well. And I'll be back next week with another video, and I'm hoping to go back to tramways once again, now that we've done this little diversion into the centre of Macclesfield. So goodbye, and I'm Steve, and I'm not here now. Bye.